Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here, bringing you episode 26 of my Agrarian Skies Hardcore Quest Let's Play. This game pack by Jadedcat is available on the Feed the Beast launcher. Last time, we got an infusion altar set up. This time, we're going to use it. First things first, though, gonna come over here, check on the sewage quest, and we are at 99% complete. That will finish today, and we'll get to hand it in. Fantastic. So first things first, going to need to create the Essentia that's going to be used in this infusion crafting recipe. To do so, I'm going to need to use some of those alchemical blocks that I was originally going after for the quest before I realized that, oh hey, I can't actually make all of this. So first and foremost, I'm going to need to set up my alchemical furnace, and I'm going to need to use those V filters that I've made to create some arcane alembics. So come over here, grab myself some buckets. I'm going to get myself, just a good 10 of them because I'm going to need a whole bunch more in just a moment. Now, I'm also going to need some iron, and I'm going to need some gold. Having this guy over here has been a real help in, getting everything put together. So gold goes there, the V filter goes there, and that should make the arcane alembic, unless I'm failing horribly. I am. Okay. This is why I don't do recipes upon memory. I have mods to tell me how to do them. Good. Now all I need to do is toss my wand in there and grab myself 3 arcane alembics. But that's not going to be quite enough because I'm going to be using this smooth stone. I'm actually going to need to make one more. So first I need to get some mesh, which I don't have programmed into my system because I never expected to need that much of it. And now I can make one more of these V filters. Which will let me make the final alembic that I will need. Fantastic. So, where did I put my alchemical furnace? I know I have one somewhere. Oh, tell me I didn't hand it in. That would be a shame. I turned it in, didn't I? Sure did. Alright, time to make another one. No problem. It's not like I don't have the crucibles. Not bitter. I'm going to keep saying that, and everyone's going to keep not believing me. Furnace, crucible. What do you mean no crucibles in there? Oh, they must all be in the in here. Oh, you know what? They're still cauldrons, aren't they? Yes, they are. There we go. What's the final item I need for that again? Oh, just a bunch of arcane stone blocks. I got plenty of those. All right. Set you down. Whack you with a wand. Poof. Pick you up. I've got some strange things in my inventory. You'll see what those are all about in a little bit. Goes the other way, doesn't it? There we go. And bam, alchemical furnace. I also scanned the arcane pedestal and the arcane stone block. Because scan everything. Alright, oh, wrong book. I guess this is where that bookbinder comes in handy. I'm going to want to make myself a few Essentia tubes. Those require quicksilver, which I've been getting an awful lot of bits of quicksilver as I've been progressing along, letting my guy, the ore processing run. Yeah, these quicksilver drops, 9 of them makes 1 quicksilver. See? And I'm just going to make myself, a couple of those tubes. They'll be useful for now. Later on, they will stop being nearly as useful just because of the sheer quantity of things that I'm going to be handling. So that's quicksilver, glass, and iron and gold. Because why not? Alright, put some glass there, some quicksilver there, some gold here, and some iron here and here, and poof, I have 18 Essentia tubes. So, there. I'm going to come over into this. Actually, I'm going to grab a bunch of charcoal first. Then I'm going to come over into this corner here, and I'm going to set down my alchemical furnace. And on top of the alchemical furnace is where the arcane alembics go. All 4 of them in this case. Whoops. Hey, maybe these things need some different bounding boxes, huh? That'd be great. They, as you can see, they currently have a full tank bound, a full block bounding box, and they really don't need to. All right, and off of each of those, I'm going to run 1 Essentia tube, which is not connecting to that side. Everything got changed with the way these Essentia tubes work recently in the latest version of Thaumcraft. So I just need to make sure that the front is actually facing away from where I want the tube to go. And I want these tubes to each go in a slightly different, oh, it's up on top. Blast. There we go. Grab some, we can noob tower with arcane stone bricks just as easy as anything. So the reason I want these to be different is Essentia tubes can only transport 1 type of Essentia at a time, and I want to have these guys set up to output the Essentia that I'm going to be creating as I make it, instead of needing to do it manually. All right, so now I come back over here. Next step along the path, I need to make myself some warded jars. And warded jars are just glass panes and slabs and a little bit of aqua V. So, get my slabs. Get my glass panes. I'm going to need more than that. Okay, no problem. That was silly. That was really silly. Too much stuff, not enough inventory. Perpetual issue. Use is 7, so 63, I believe, is divisible by 7. Yes, yes it is. And slabs. I'm going to want 14. So I'm actually going to make some more glass panes. And just toss the jungle wood in there. Run these along the sides. Nope. Actually need some more slabs to finish that off, but that's okay. This will do for now. So the way this alchemical furnace works, I put charcoal in the bottom and anything up top. I'm going to use charcoal now, even though it's not the most efficient option. There are better options, but for these purposes right now, I'm just trying to get that quest complete. I'll deal with making more efficient use of Thaumcraft later. Right now, I'm just going to show off like the basics. Okay, I haven't scanned the jars yet. So many things to scan. Wow, those were really not worth it. All right, so the jars need to be placed underneath each of these. Now, each jar can hold 64 of a type of Essentia. The Essentia tubes will extract from the Arcane Alembics automatically and put it into the warded jars. I need 128 arbor, which means at least 2 full jars full, and it uses half of a stack of oak wood. I'm actually going to do the entire stack all at once. And you can see it starts running and it starts building up some Essentia, which goes up in here and then gets transferred into there. Simple as that. Every time this processes, it burns 1 oak wood and creates 4 arbor. And this Essentia is moving rather slowly because this charcoal is just really not the most efficient fuel. So while that's burning, I will show you how to make a more efficient fuel. You're going to want to use alumentum as the best fuel for the arcane furnace. And to make that, I need to toss actual coal into something with ignis, preditio, and potentia. And good sources of ignis and preditio, well, charcoal, while ignis and potentia. The preditio is a little bit more difficult. However, I believe that it is available on cactus. Whoops. So let's scan that and find out. Yes, so a little bit's available on cactus. That would end up being a bit of a mess, actually. if you leave a bunch of leftover aspects in the crucible, which is what I need to use to make this, you end up with just flux and instability and badness, and it's not good. Let me show you one other thing that we can do, as long as we're at this. With the crucible, I can stick a fluid duct next to it, and it will happily connect to it. And then I can just stick this tank on top of that, whack it with a wrench, and that's supposed to fill it. It's not working. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. It just took a moment. Did not show graphically, even though it had actually processed. All right, so cactus is potential. Cobblestone, I know, has a good bit of, has one, and only leaves over one left over. So that's an option. I think gunpowder is a good source, but I'm running low on, I'm actually completely out of gunpowder. And I haven't had time to set up my other source of it yet. I have something in mind. I just need to, get to that point and set it all up. These guys are running quite well. Well, I can shut down the TNT generator for now just by removing that. And that will stop feeding gunpowder to those, and I should start collecting some, which will be good. I can activate those again once I get a better supply of the stuff. All right. So I'm thinking that for the moment, if I want to make a bunch of elementum, cobblestone's going to be my best bet. You can see this guy's full now. I can pull him off and stick another one on. And that'll drain into there faster than this can replace it. And I can set this jar down. Let's put it just right there. Actually, I want a couple spaces of extra. And there's my 64 of the arbor that I need. So yeah, coming back over here, just to double check, I need the coal, I need charcoal. It has to be coal. Oh, I could use charcoal too. So every 3 ignis perditio and potentia makes 1 elementum. I'm going to want an entire stack of elementum. So it's 3 charcoal per 2 elementum. I'm going to need 32. No, I'm going to need a stack of charcoal. And then another stack to create the elementum. And then a half stack just toss in there. And the perditio, I'm going to use an awful lot of cobblestone. So, to start off, this is going to be kind of a variation on mass production of Essentia, not Essentia, elementum. There is a better way that I will have access to once I have those Greatwood logs. But this will get me my first stack, which is what I need for now. So I'm just going to start off by tossing 16 of the cobblestone in there. And then I'm going to start tossing charcoal in one at a time. And as I get enough for each elementum, it, extracts it for me. And there's 12 of it so far. And now you can see I've got that 36 saxum left in there. And to get rid of that, I can take my wooden wand here and hold shift and right click it. And that empties it out into the world. And this nasty liquid coming out, that is flux goo. And it can spawn thalmic slimes, which are kind of nasty and bad. So you're just going to want to clean that up by placing something down and, getting rid of it. All right, so once I have my elementum, I can take it over here, toss it into that alchemical furnace, and that'll speed things along quite a bit. It'll also burn for a very long time each. But until it burns one, it won't actually gain any speed benefits. And I'm actually almost done getting all of the arbor out of these. And any moment now. There we go. the elementum goes, and it should start draining this stuff out a lot faster. You can see the bar ticking down a lot faster than it was before. Not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's what needs to be done at the moment. So once this arbor is done clearing through, I will show you what goes next. Alright, next thing I want to do is make some labels, actually, because they're going to make this entire process just that little bit safer. And jar labels are made with black dye, slime ball, and paper. And I'm low on paper, of course. So let's make another couple stacks of that. And a stack of labels. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to set up 3 more jars. And I'm going to put sugarcane into here because this will give me 64 aqua and 64 air, as well as 64 herba that I don't particularly need at the moment, but it is kind of important. So there's the oh, that's not good. That's aqua. That's now air, and that'll be herba up there. Well, that's a mess. And one that I'm not 100% certain how to fix. So those labels will just make sure that the herba, as it drains out, does not go into one of these two. And you can see how fast that's moving through that sugarcane. It's pretty nice. Cannot easily dump one into the other like that. Oh well, I know that there's a way to fix this. It's just been a little while since I've dealt with this particular issue. I'll come back to that in just a moment once I have it sorted out. Gonna let this sugarcane process through and empty into the jars. Once that's done, I will cut back in. All right, our sugarcane is done processing. The easiest way to deal with this issue right now is I can just hold shift and right click to empty out those jars. And I can come back over here. I can collect my aqua and my air. Set those down in range of the altar. The range on the altar is significant. It's like close to 20 blocks. I'll grab my herba and I'll stick this over here. I don't think it's going to be immediately useful. And now to remove these labels, I can just shift right click and they pop off. Fantastic. Now, next step along the line is smooth sandstone, which contains Perditio, Terra, and Ordo, also Saxum. Now the problem is it contains a whole lot of 2 of those aspects, Perditio and Terra. So I'm going to need more jars. I need 3 of Terra and 4 for Perditio. And I'm actually going to toss 1 smooth sandstone in there immediately on its own so that these alembics will all get stuck with some Essentia. And now I can go back through and get all of those labeled. This is the, mostly manual, not very fancy or efficient way of doing things. There is a better way. All right. So this is going to require 3 jars for Terra. There's no good reason for it to be hissing gas at me. It should only be pulling Terra out. 1 jar for Ordo, 1 jar for Saxum, and 4 for Perditio, which means I need to go make more jars. Actually, I have a whole lot of excess arbor here. And as I previously mentioned, I don't believe that herba is particularly useful. Now, I don't remember if emptying jars into the environment like that is bad in this version of Thaumcraft. I know that it was earlier on. All right, so I'm going to dump that entire stack of sandstone in there and let this thing start chugging away. You know what I think is going on? I think that it's finding the suction on the tubes. So each tube can only carry one type of Essentia at a time these days because of recent changes. And these are getting blocked up because there even are multiple tubes on here. Having more than one jar on the tube is not allowed at current. And that's a shame. So yes, very manual. So I'm going to sit here and monitor this, and I'm going to make sure that I don't waste any Terra or Preditio. Back soon. Just made myself 10 more Elementum, dumped 30 more Saxum out. That floating up above is flux gas. That is something that needs to be dealt with from either the Crucible, having extra aspects in it, or the Infusion Altar as an instability mechanic. And I'll show you some cool ways to deal with that later on. Today, I can deal with it just by virtue of the fact that I've got a nice open ceiling, but that won't last forever. So while this thing is still processing the Preditio, Terra, and Ordo, I've got myself 32 Blaze Powder, which has 2 Ignis and 1 Praecantatio each. So that will get me a full bottle of Ignis Essentia, which is going to be one of the ones I need for my Greatwood Sapling. And it'll also get me a bunch of Praecantatio, which is very useful for a number of things. I'll definitely be using it at some point. Which is why I chose that over, say, coal or charcoal, because there's only so much of that stuff that you need. Potentia, that is. This is a really expensive recipe. So one of the things that I can do to help mitigate some of the effects of what's about to happen, the instability effects are mostly come in one of 4 flavors. Either some sort of nasty debuff will be applied to me personally, so having extra health and having, you know, good food on hand so that I will heal up well, very useful for that. The Runic Matrix can shoot out lightning bolts, but I can mitigate that just by having some crystal clusters around to absorb the fluxed lightning. The items on the arcane pedestals themselves may get knocked off, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a moment. And I'll also set up a system to easily replace them. Or one of the items might be converted to either flux goo or flux gas. The goo is going to have to wait until after everything is finished for me to clean it up. The gas will float away on its own, and the item will be replaced by the same system that is going to replace things that get knocked off accidentally. So first and foremost among all of that, I can make myself some crystal clusters to mitigate the nastiness of the lightning. And I have the most earth, so I think I'll just make 4 earth crystal clusters for now, because, you know, grounding and earth, and it goes together. It works thematically. And I'm going to place those 4, well, I think I'm going to build myself the start of a ceiling. Ow. You full yet? No. Why are you groaning at me? Because you're almost full. Okay. And I believe, yeah, that'll be great. I'm just going to hang the crystal clusters upside down on that. And yes, I have magical floating block disorder right now, but that's okay. This is a work in progress build. I'm not going for aesthetics at the moment, just functionality. I've dropped one. It'll turn up. There it is. And there. Now any lightning that comes out of the Runic Matrix should hit those crystal clusters, and because they are in perfect symmetry with each other, they will help reduce the instability. So, fantastic. Alright, I'm going to pull off that jar of Preditio, put on one more, which will hopefully be the last one I need. Oh no, I'm going to need one more of, I think it's the Preditio. Lot of Essentia in these. Alright, there's my Ordo. And my Saxum. I don't care about the Saxum. But the ordo is required for this recipe. So I'm very happy about that. This is going to be cool, guys. All right. Everything's all done processing on that note. So I can now get my labels back. And I can grab my jar, actually. I think it's stuck there. And I can toss my blaze powder in, and that'll start processing. Start filling up with Ignis in Precantatio. And then I'm going to label both of these alembics again, just to stop any, issues. I can toss down a jar on each of them. And it'll only take those two. So I'm all set now. Just need to wait for that to process and set up my ingredients. Now, if you remember, the recipe for the Greatwood Sapling calls for a lot of specialized items. 6 buckets of witch water, a jungle sapling, a shimmer leaf, and a cinder pearl. I don't think I have very many jungle saplings. I'm going to come check that, because if I'm low on them, then I might need to grow myself some more. Yeah, I only have the 1. Well, this is going to be time to use something that I haven't touched in a while, a crook. So I'm going to go bone meal this jungle sapling a bunch of times, crook down the leaves, get myself some extra saplings out of it before I start turning one of them into a Greatwood Sapling. Back soon. Alrighty folks, it is pouring rain and I have everything I need to make myself 1 Greatwood Sapling. I'm going to put one of my jungle saplings on this center pillar. I'm going to need to put a cinder pearl and a shimmer leaf on the sides. So let me grab my cinder pearl. I'll grab 8 of them. Always better to have more than not enough. And my shimmer leaf. Now, how am I going to handle things getting knocked off or turned into goo? Well, I'm going to put a hopper on each of these, because if I toss that cinder pearl in the hopper, you can see it'll pop right in for me. It's a little cheaty, but apparently Asnor himself does it, so why not? There we go. And I have just enough room here to make sure that I get a hopper on every single one of these. And the other 6, oops, that is not quite where I want that. The other 6 pedestals need buckets of witch water, which I ran over to my witch water farm and I grabbed the barrel of it so that I'd have a whole bunch with me. A ludicrously excessive amount with me. Alright, so I'm going to put 2 buckets into each hopper, just in case one gets, taken out by nasty, nasty instability flux effects. And these hoppers, they're not more that I made. I just grabbed the ones from my ore processing room because I really didn't need them. I have AE feeding the dusts and such into there, so there's really no purpose to having the hoppers in there. Alright, so I have an extra of everything. I have some crystals to catch the lightning. I won't need to run around like a chicken with my head cut off to put things back. I'm going to do one final check of the recipe just to make absolutely certain I have everything. These are the steps that I run through on every infusion crafting. So 64 air, 64 aqua, 64 ignis, ordo, preditio, and terra, 128 arbor. Makes 1 Greatwood Sapling from a jungle sapling, 6 witch water buckets, and 1 cinder pearl and 1 shimmer leaf. So yes, everything is set up in order, good to go. Now the only thing left to do, grab my wand, give the runic matrix a whack. Oh, you can see it vibrating and shaking and lightning flashing out. Such cool particle effects. Just gonna keep an eye on things, wait for this to complete. Oh, you can see one of them got fluxed, but it replaced it quickly. I'm actually going to go grab some more buckets, just to be on the safe side. On track so far. It's not needing any extras. Thank you, Wayla, for showing me that. I believe... Nope, that thing will not give me that info. Oh, looks like one got knocked off over here. Maybe. In any case. You've got an extra. You now have an extra. It's still sucking in the Essentia that it needs. It's a lot of Essentia. It would be possible to make this even safer with, you know, more preparation, more night ore, more crystals, clusters, and to reduce the instability further. There we go. If I just look at it long enough with the goggles, all of this information that Wayla's giving me pops up over top. Oop, sorry about that, folks. Forgot to mute my phone. And it's going crazy. Entertainingly, that's my Feed the Beast forum noise. It's telling me that people are talking in threads that I care about. Things seem to have calmed down a bit for the moment. It's just going to take a while because there's, you know, tons and tons of Essentia involved in this. 376 primals and another 128 other. So over 500, 504 points of Essentia. Pretty intense recipe. This might be the most expensive single craft I have done. Ow! That was that flux lightning I was telling you about. I was closer than the crystals were. That hurt a lot. That was like 3 points of damage just in one smack. Alright. Almost there. Once it's done drawing in the Essentia from all of the jars, it'll start eating the items around for extra... Ow! For extra ow, yes. Huh. These crystals are not doing it. They're supposed to be attracting the lightning. Maybe I need more of them. I will have more of them when I expand this to be a little bit bigger and better. Oop. You got knocked off, so I'm just going to put you back. Ah, it was in that one. Almost. I really think that at night, in the rain, is the perfectly appropriate time to do this. I just love the way everything streams into the runic matrix like that. Alright, that's the last of the Essentia now, and now it starts eating the items. Oh, interesting. It's only sucking the witch water out of the buckets. It's leaving me the buckets. That's pretty cool. Alright. Almost through. Boom. Fantastic. And now I just come up here, right-click you, 1 Greatwood Sapling. Excellent. So there we have it, folks. One of the most complex recipes in Thaumcraft available, from nothing to complete in 3 episodes. That's also going to be all of the time that we have for today. So next time, I'm going to get this thing planted somewhere on a nice little platform of dirt, and let it grow. Give it time. In the meantime, while I'm giving it time, I will probably start in on Tinker's Steelworks because I want to build a big reactor for power. They are fantastic fun, and I need steel to do that. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you're enjoying the series. If so, please like, comment, subscribe, favorite. It really helps me out a lot. I will see you next time.